Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. Now, I am sure you have heard about the 4-day work week, the hype about the 4-day work week. And maybe you have thought to yourself, can this really work? Are these studies true? And the studies show that for companies that have experimented with this, there have been some big studies done in England and in Japan. But for companies who experiment with a 4-day work week, they actually improve productivity, sometimes by as much as like 30 to 40%. And I thought this is really interesting. And of course, I mean, who doesn't want to work less? So I am doing an experiment this year, 2024, with a 4-day work week. And I wanted you to be able to come along on the journey with me. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Now, I experiment with my schedule on a regular basis. It's something that I think about when I do my quarterly planning. When I do quarterly planning, I look at my schedule and I say, okay, what's working right now that I want to keep doing? What's not really working that I would like to change or to experiment with? But this will be my biggest experiment to date. I have never done something so drastic. I'm usually doing something like, I'm going to stop taking clients at the 9 a.m. hour, or, I'm going to shift around what day is my no meeting day or something like that. So this 4-day work week experiment will be my most drastic so far, but it's something that I want to actually commit to for a full year before deciding whether this is something that can work for me. And the reality is, I need, if I need this to work, I need this to work, and I need it to work for my business in a way that it's not, reducing my business, it's not reducing my revenue. I'm still able to support my family, et cetera. So it's not just something that I can do willy nilly. And I'm not thinking about it in that way either. I'm thinking about it quite thoughtfully about how I'm going to make these changes so that I could test out this 4-day work week experiment and see if it works for me. And then at the end of the year, I will come back and I will share with you what did work, right? What worked, what didn't? Am I going to keep doing it in 2025 and beyond? I actually don't know yet. I'm about 2 months into this experiment. So I want to share with you a little bit more about how I've been thinking about this. So first, I looked at what was my schedule last year in 2023? What was that iteration and how did that work? So we're seeing where I'm starting from, and this might be helpful to you. So in 2023, the last iteration of my schedule, I was working Monday through Friday, from starting around 9 a.m. until, sometime between like 3:30 and 5 p.m. Sometimes I'd go to 6 p.m. I was trying to end on the earlier time, the earlier side of that. That wasn't always possible, but that was kind of my schedule. It was like, is a pretty 9 to 5-ish schedule, right? And so what I am trying to do, well, actually, what more of what I had last year was, how did I break out my time in that 9 to 5 schedule? So Mondays have been my, sacred no meeting day for many years. This is the day where I have no interruptions. It's where I make these videos. It's where I write my weekly article. It's where I do most of my creative work. And I don't take clients that day. I do answer some email that day, but other than that, it's really just for creative work. So no meeting Mondays. That was happening last year. And I'm staying with that. Like, I'm not messing with that. That works really well for me. And then Tuesday through Thursday last year were devoted to client work and kind of administrative and sales work, that kind of stuff. And then Fridays, I was leaving for connection, for meeting up with people, for learning, for anytime I needed to, do something big or new in my business, for a little bit of project work. And let's be honest, I was doing some admin on that day as well, because admin is like a never ending slog, right? Okay, so that's what last year looked like. And here's what I've been trying for the last couple of months, right? So what I'm trying to do now is to work Monday through Thursday, taking Fridays off. I looked at that schedule and like how I was doing things, and I was like, I don't think I can just like cut off a day and not add any hours to the other days and make this work right now. And so what I am doing is I am working Monday through Thursday from about 9 to 5. I'm not trying to get off a little earlier those days as I was before. I've kind of shifted some Friday hours into the hours for the rest of the week, but I'm still trying to be done by like 5:30 every day, on Monday through Thursday. I have not messed with no meeting Mondays. Like, that works very well for me. I'm keeping client work and admin to Tuesdays through Thursdays, but I actually have added a little bit more time. So I blocked off a Wednesday every other week to give me another full day for like project work and deep work, because I was like, where am I going to get like the learning in, all of that stuff? So I'm going to be experimenting with that, this additional blocked off day that I could use for project work, creative work, etc. Now, as I'm going through this process, I'm probably going to be making little changes here. I think it's going pretty well so far, but it hasn't been without incident. I will tell you, um, I have made exceptions twice. So I have two meetings that I scheduled on a Friday with clients, and I did it because they couldn't meet any other day, and I didn't want us to have to go, weeks into the future to find some time. So I have made a couple of exceptions. I feel okay about them, but I want to make sure I don't do that on a regular basis. I have what I'm doing on Fridays. I have left some of those connection things on Fridays because that doesn't really feel like work to me. When I'm meeting with people or getting coffee with someone, that doesn't really feel like work, even if it's tangentially work related. So I am leaving that on Fridays. And I've shifted my doctor's appointments and all those kind of personal appointments and things. I'm shifting those to Friday too. I used to do those just kind of like whenever in the week that I could fit them in. But in order to really condense this 4-day work week, I'm trying to shift those things to Friday. So that is what I'm doing right now. Now, how is it going? I think it's going pretty well. Again, I've made a couple of exceptions. I also have had to like recalibrate how much work I'm putting on my plate because what I found for the first few weeks of the year is that I was overestimating. This is something that I work with my clients. I work on with my clients. And it's something I'm not immune from either when I'm making a big change. And so I have had to recalibrate how much I can do in a given week. And that has been, that's been hard. It's been a little humbling to figure that out. Right. And so I am getting there. I'm getting more into task realism. I'm getting back to, every week, the things I put on my calendar are the things that I can actually do. The things that are on my task list are the things I can actually do. But it has been, a little bit of a humbling experience. So far, I'm really enjoying it. But remains to be seen of whether this can work for my company and whether this can work in the long term. And so I would love for you to stay along for the ride. What I promise is that I will let you know at the end of the year how this experiment went, what my observations were, what I have learned, and whether I'm going to keep doing it into 2025 and beyond. And what I would love from you is if you have transitioned to a 4-day work week, I would love to know your secrets. So tell me what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Maybe if you've ever done a job share, this could be something that you thought about too when you switched from a full-time job to something that was smaller. I have in the past worked less than 40 hours a week at different jobs. I've had, 75% time, et cetera. But I've never done this 4-day work week thing before. So if you have anything that you want to share with me about your experience, well, I would be all ears. So I look forward to this ride. I look forward to sharing it with you as I go along throughout the year. And if you would like to continue getting content like this, if you are interested in productivity and reducing your overwhelm and reducing your stress to doing more of what you want and less of what you don't, well, make sure to subscribe here so you can get this content in your feed every week.
Hi, it's the video editor here. Just like she said, make sure to like and subscribe because only about 13% of the people that watch our videos are actually subscribed. Thank you.